All right, coming in at number 16 is my Bob Feller Sports Thrills. It is up from last year, which I love to see. I love this card because it's got a cool story in the back, and I just think it looks better than Bowman too. All right, this card has kind of done some weird things. Number 15 in the collection. This is $250-ish. Card I graded myself. I typically don't grade with SGC. However, I love this kind of mid-ish grade vintage. Second year Jimmy Brown SGC 6. I feel like this might be a target for next year. What I mean by that is his rookie might be a target for me, or more Jim Brown cards in general, because he did have a bump last year when he passed. Things have kind of stabilized, and I think from here, I would imagine when I do this video next year, it's going to be gaining back up to where it was. So there could be a little bit of a dip right now. People that got that wanted their Jim Brown cards probably got them for the next 6 months to a year. One of the first cards I bought when I was back in the hobby, and I'm glad I did. This is my Refractor Auto. I do collect Guardian Refractor Auto rookies, so the best Guardian of my lifetime. Love to see it. Doesn't sell too often in 9.5, but we're coming in at about 315. Again, this is another nice little game from last year as well. Next up, we're getting close to the top 10. This is number 13, Astros rookies. You're really thinking about Joe Morgan there. To me, he was the greatest second baseman of all time in an SGC 7.5. This card comes in just above Jose at about 320. After that, this is one of my favorite pickups of the entire year. This is my 1955 Bowman Hank Aaron. Reason I bought this is because number one, I want to own all of his playing days, Topps and Bowman cards. Number two is Topps got lazy and decided to use the same image of Hank the first few years of his cards. So to me, this is a vastly superior card. People either love or hate the Bowman. I do love it. I got a card. All the edges are kind of banged up. I mean, it's got that cool wood coloring, but the center of the card, the centering is good. And especially the surface, the color, like I might be a surface guy more than anything. It's crisp, it's very clear. I cannot have blurry cards, and this one just looks great. Again, this is one of my newest pickups, coming in at about 325, Hank Aaron, SGC 4.5. The biggest gainer, this is a card I purchased before last year. It's all the way up to 335. The biggest gainer in the collection year over year is my Ohtani Prism. I do enjoy buying the Prisms. I think there's a little bit of a bump from a regular refractor. And it's what's not to love about Shohei. I think this is the card you want to buy, him in this pitching, in terms of rookie cards. All right, getting into the top 10, of course. Starting with my only soccer card in my entire collection. This is my Mbappe 10 color match French jersey. Coming in about 350-ish. Here's a card that I love. Talked more about it last year. My Soto Pink. His stuff. Again, I love that. I keep saying it, but it's a smile card. Up in 22, down in 23, back up in 24. I would imagine this card will continue to increase. He signed the mega deal. He'll be pretty good. Okay, getting into the good stuff, guys. We're at number 8 in the collection, about 370-ish. Here's my my only mantle. Again, I'm collecting the 1959 Topps set. I've got another one coming up, but the Mickey Mantle, I think he's going to be the second most expensive card in that set. So this is a gift from my dad a few years ago. It's up year over year, as I think all mantle cards are. I feel like, and I mentioned this before, I think 23 was the bottom, and I think we're just going to continue to go from here. Here's a card I'm very excited to own for the future. This is my Mookie Red Hot foil. When I was getting into the hobby, I did want to focus more on parallels. And I'm a color match guy. He's one that, again, was higher in 22, lower in 23, and way up this year. Mookie solidified himself last year. He didn't even have that good of a season. He was hurt. His power dropped. He had that hand injury. Still cracked off a good 5 WAR. And he's at 70, guys. So if he retired today, you know, he's got the World Series. He's got 2 fan bases that love him. He would be Hall of Famer today. So this is number 7 in the collection at just about $390. Mookie Betts Red Hot foil. Here's one that I just have to accept the fact that it's coming up lower. My Jackie Robinson. Here's number 6 in the collection, SGC 4. Last year was about 600. This year, VCP's telling me 5. Despite the fact that it had a record-breaking sale this year at 1.4K, $1,400. Because I just feel like vintage, you get those weird cards that are dinged up or back, you know, really poorly centered, and they're going to throw the price down for a little bit. While the centering isn't perfect by any means, I mean, this card otherwise looks gorgeous. The yellow is deep. The image is perfectly visible and no blemishes at all. I promise you, if I listed this for $400, it wouldn't make it a day on eBay. So I'm kind of targeting, I think Jackie's stuff is, again, we got to see where it's at. He got really hyped up. People thought, oh, it's safe for Jackie. It's safe. Well, nothing was safe in 2022 or 2023. And I'm thinking that I'm going to look at the prices, but the 53 tops might be my next big target. This card, I feel like is just going to continuously go up every single year. It's just what it is. 49 Bowman, Stan Musial in a 4. As always, the color is deep. The image is crisp. It is the centering isn't perfect on this one, but it's fantastic. It's up about 15% from last year. Here's getting into, by the way, that was the 5th of my collection. Getting into the top 5 here. 3 of these are all new cards. One of which being my Bobby Witt SP. Had this in a 9, cracked it myself, and ended up getting the 10. I do think that Bobby Witt is, pending injury, he could be the next guy. He could be maybe not quite A-Rod, but he could be up there. And I'm probably done buying things of his. I think his market shot up. This is a $550 card, number 4 in the collection. Again, why I bought it, it's ultra modern, but it's his true rookie. It's his SP. That's the only chrome rookie he has. There's a million other rookies in Update and many other sets. When I'm collecting ultra modern, I need this kind of stuff. It needs to be simple. It needs to be SP. It needs to be gold. It needs to be something of that nature. Okay, top 3. 2 of these are new to the collection. Been wanting this card for a long time, so this is kind of a hobby level up for me, is owning a 53 Satchel Paige. Kind of went back and forth in some shows and just never quite got a deal done. So I actually bought this card off Facebook. I just PayPal'd some random stranger and hoped that the card would show up. Of course, I use friends and goods and services, not friends and family, but you never know. I really just was hoping for a numerical grade. I thought it could have gotten authentic with some of the creasing on the edges. It's rough. Like the edges are rough. I get that. But why I bought it is look at how clear the picture is. It is well centered. The picture is crisp and clear. When I look at a card, I'm looking at faces. I'm looking at things. I'm looking at names and logos, and it's all there. So again, I was hoping for a numerical grade. I was kind of this dream of a 2, which is kind of funny because it came back a 1.5. I think it's a very fair grade. Ended up adding about $100 in value just grading it. This is coming in at about $585. This is my Satchel Paige. Number 2 in the collection. This is last year's number 1, so I've got a bigger card coming next. I love doing these videos because I don't crack all my cards out that often and look at them in this nature. And sometimes I forget about how nice they are. Like this one is just so sharp and centered. Um, uh, my Gibson rookie, it is significantly up from a percentage point, not quite as much as that Otani, but I mean it gained almost $200 in value last year. We're sitting at about 800. Um, Again, if I listed this card for 800 on eBay, it would sell in a heartbeat. When I buy cards, I pay up for them. A lot of times it's counterintuitive because I'll sometimes set, I'll set the market on a card because I want it in uh, that eye appeal of that grade. And now it's caught up to where I paid for it. And I've got a better looking card. So this 5 is going to outsell most 6s, many 6s, I should say. One of the greatest pitchers of all time, number 2 in the collection, my Bob Gibson rookie. Next up is a card that's very special to me. It's one that I targeted when I got into the hobby. I almost bought it a few times and regretted not because it went up in value. I was able to make a deal at a card show in person. This is by far the biggest card in my entire collection. This is my Hank Aaron rookie in a 3. Never thought I'd be able to buy a 3, but I worked with somebody at a show and probably looked at hundreds of these in the last few years and never could find one that was matching my standards in my price range. And again, the centering isn't perfect. The main defect of this card is right here. There's a little wrinkle or something, which I don't mind because when I look at the rest of the card, I'm not looking there. I'm looking at Hank. I'm looking at the beautiful Milwaukee Braves logo, the deep orange and the deep blue. That's hat's a big deal, guys, because that a lot of times has smudges, has snow, has markings, and it's crystal clear. So here's a card. I know I say I don't look at my cards as much as I probably should. I pull this one out all the time and I just kind of stare at it because it's beautiful. And I never thought I would own this card, and I have it, and I'm very thankful. So number 1 in the collection, coming in at $2,800, is my Hank Aaron PSA 3. And that does it, guys. A lot of really, really exciting new additions to my collection, including, of course, number 1. Why I love doing this is also because it gives you an idea of what you're buying and where your collection is at. I kind of look back this year and I didn't meet all of my hobby goals. Life got in the way. I'm a father first and a husband first. And so things had to be taken care of. And so I thought to myself, I didn't really add a lot to the collection this year. I didn't get it where I wanted to. And I do this and I realize, well, look, 4 of your top 5 cards are new. You got a Grail and a Hank Aaron. Things are up. Things are looking good. And like I mentioned, I had 20 cards in my top 50, increase in value from last year. I truly think the bottom of the hobby was last year, and cards that make sense they just make sense now. When people get injured, they're gonna go down. When they have good years, they're gonna go up. And I'm feeling great about the direction of the hobby. So that's it, guys. This is my 2024 variation of the collection. I don't know if I'll be able to supplant number 1 next year. I hope I don't, because that's just ridiculous amount of money I'd have to spend. But we'll see what happens next year. Y'all take care of yourself.